Survivor Now podcast.
I was busy on the beach, like I was on Survivor.
I don't believe anything you say on Survivor.
I almost called.
It's now time.
I'm so excited.
Oh no!
I actually love you, but
Oh, it's so wrong.
I gotta go. I got something to do. Not as exciting as this. I'll tell you that right now, but
It's about to. Oh, Tori.
All right, what's up, Abe? I'm so excited for tonight, for the pre-show, for the after show, for the episode. Abe, how's it going?
Look, Survivor's back on. I got a Wednesday night date every Wednesday night. I get to see Survivor. I get to see 18 castaways. Try to get that Soul Survivor title. It's starting off really fun, so I can't complain. What's happened thus far? So I'm just enjoying it for Survivor's back this year. So I'm good.
Absolutely. Hey, and I'm with that. I am just so excited to have Survivor back. I really loved the first episode, which we're going to recap a little bit, but a lot of tonight is going to also be about like making some predictions, seeing what's coming up, and it's going to be really fun. Everybody, thank you so much for joining. I'm Tori, and obviously I was just talking to my boy Abe over here. This is Abe, and we're about to dive in to the pre-show leading up to tonight's episode 2, which I'm so excited for once again. So, Abe, before we officially start moving on to episode 2, we can't leave episode 1 behind without talking about it one last time. So I'm curious, what were some of your predictions going into episode 1? And did those predictions hold up? Like, anything come true? Anything surprise you? Like, give me the rundown.
I mean, for episode 1, we always want to look for a good start. We always want to see who wants to be diabolical right off the jump. I think we got a little bit of everything. We got a few players that realize this is Survivor and you have to play. Then we got a few other players like, I don't know what I got myself into. I don't know 26 days is in me. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see how we move. But then we got some players that, to me, took advantage of being alternates. They came out and they played in episode 1. So I'm definitely looking forward to more of that tonight. But I'm going to give my credit out to Matt. Matt held it down for 52. He came out there and put in work. And I was like, oh, okay, I see Matt here to play. And what's crazy is they kind of focus on he didn't have patience for individuals not knowing how to do stuff. But Matt just sat back and waited. I'm like, y'all didn't practice Flint when y'all was at home, but okay, I'll wait on you. So we had some little episodes that we can always look at. But I also felt a certain kind of way last week, too, when I saw Riz looking at the puzzle. I'm just saying.
Oh, my gosh. Yes, the infamous moment where Riz he just took advantage of a free puzzle when he wasn't good at puzzles going in. Man, that that seemed like a really horrible, hard situation for Alex to be in. Let's just say that. It's hard for me to even find my words here because I don't even know how I would feel. But I thought that Alex handled it like a champ. And, it was a really fun moment, even though.
No, I want to see the edits. I wouldn't have had him like a champ. I'd be like, hey, you cheating guy. I'd have tackled him. I'd have drug him to the water. We'd have had a fight out there. Here's the thing. It takes me back to Marie when she played and we saw a situation where someone helped another player win. And it was like, well, that threw the whole ending of the game off because now you're not competing against one person. So, and some people say, well, he should have covered up the puzzle. No, we get instructions on what we can and cannot do. So if you said, hey, if you leave your puzzle available, I can use it, fine. We don't get that as the viewing audience, but I'm like, if he didn't have that puzzle, he would have lost. So, and I don't want that to be like, now you got future players coming in and just waiting. Well, I'll just wait till they do the puzzle. I'll wait till they do it, and then I'll just watch. Because to me, that's kind of boring. Now you're just playing off somebody else. So it's going to be interesting how they do tonight. And I want to see what happened if merge and they both together again. Can he trust him?
Oh my gosh, that's going to be fun if that happens. Yeah, I guess, looking down the road, it'll be interesting to see if that relationship is strained at all, or if they can kind of, Alex specifically, if Alex can put the past behind him and maybe, maybe make a bond with Riz, who knows? But that was a really fun moment. Now, obviously, Alex went back to his beach and he was trying to figure out, what should I tell my tribe? So do you think he played that right? Do you think that that's going to come back up? Do you think that his tribe is going to be like, did he lie to us? Did more happen? What do you think about what he told his tribe?
Tori, we know you're a great young lady. We know you are. You're a teacher and everything. But for 26 days, you a liar. You would anticipate. I'm anticipating that you will lie. So for 26 days, it really don't make a difference what you say. You can only make that bond with one or two people that they really say, okay, your action's going to tell me what you're going to do. Other than that, everybody's stepping for each other. So you think that you told a story that everybody believes, but it's somebody that's trying to undermine you anyway. And that they were looking at undermining him anyway. They were like, no, he lying. So no matter if you told the bold-paced truth, in Survivor, it's a matter of who can I get to trust me for these 26 days and give me a chance to try to win $1 million. So it's always going to be interesting in how the story and the edit spin that whole episode. Without a believer, you lost. We're never going to know until they see the episode. And then that's a whole different that's a different thing when you see the episode play out and you see what the truth is. But for right now, he's 50-50 with me. 50-50 they believe him, 50-50 he's a liar.
So true. Yeah, I was thinking like there really wasn't much else that he could say. Like I think that he played it pretty well when he got back because I mean all of the tribes were told that these two tribes were going to have a second chance at supplies. So everybody basically knew like what he was playing for and his story was believable. Now there's always that question in my mind, like if I'm putting myself in the player's shoes, there's always that question of like, was there an extra opportunity to get like an advantage? Like you never really know what's going to happen when they're off on their own. And yeah, like you just don't know what happened. So I guess I'm with that you say, I'm with what you're saying that I'd be 50-50 on like believing him or taking what he said and things like that. So
it was the great thing. He had a different kind of setup, even though he volunteered. Let me tell you something. It's always good to have somebody campaigning for you back at camp. Because you're not at camp, you really don't know what's going on, and that first 5 hours is real crucial to building that group bond and saying who I can work with, who I think I can work with. So Jake was on his team before he even got on the boat,
which was so crazy. I mean, Alex was really lucky that Jake was like all in on a bromance going into the episode because so often we see that one person that goes off either on a journey or off to play like a challenge like this. Anytime that they're separated from their tribe, especially in those early days, that person is immediately vulnerable. But he got really lucky that Jake was like, I want to work with this guy. I see something in him. Yeah, I mean, that just worked out in Alex's favor. Like, couldn't have been better. Speaking of which, I wanted to talk about that bromance because, I mean, it was like an immediate bromance, like love at first sight on that beach, which was so much fun to watch. I mean, I really enjoyed it. I liked seeing Sophie work with them. I just liked seeing the whole thing play out. So, but talk to me about that. Like, what do you think of the bromance? Is it going to last? What do you think?
You know what? The bromance is only as good. We saw it last season. It could last until the end, but at the same time, trust comes in and you'll say, okay, nothing changes until action has to be taken. So for them, they had to do a vote out. And they pretty much all stayed on the same page. But here's the thing. The bromance was initiated by Jake. Alex had to buy into it. Sophie trying to use it. So for those three, I think it's going to be a pretty good situation. But now I think the twist tonight is you did something that you thought was going to make the tribe stronger. You have to win. In Survivor, those first episodes and that first, before you go to the merge, if you're not winning, you're losing. So it don't make no difference what kind of romance you got. Bromance or whatever, meat shield, somebody's going home.
Absolutely. Yeah, so true. It's interesting. A lot of people are speculating that Blue Keeley or Kelly, I don't actually really know how to say their tribe name.
Get back on the next episode. I'll know all the names.
Perfect. Yeah, we'll get back to y'all on that. But a lot of people are speculating that Blue is going to be going back to tribal. And a lot of people are thinking if Blue goes back to tribal, then Annie is in trouble. Like Annie's probably going to go home. But my thought was like, okay, like what if people want to split up that romance early? In which case, I think Jake might be slightly in trouble. Now, will they want to still keep his strength around for one or two more challenges to see if that really makes or breaks them? Like that's definitely a reason to keep him. So I do think that he has a pretty good shot of making it one more night, at least if even if Blue goes to tribal. But that could definitely be something that's on players' minds, right?
I think if they listen to the podcast, if you out there listening to Survivor Now podcast, you will realize that Sophie has a good idea. Jake has a meat shield. Alex and Jake as a bromance will get you to 3. So if you get decimated and you can hold on to 3, you got a chance to have a merger that gives you an opportunity to be able to merge. So I think if they realize it that way, they got a good shot at making it to merge. And then you can have a better shot at trying to win this game. But I think that she put her name on the chopping block last time by throwing Alex's name in the fire. And I think that it was a toss-up between 2 players, and they got 1 player. So if it's a toss-up between 2, I'm gonna say 6 out of 4, that person that was a toss-up can also be on the chopping block the next time. Now they can get out of it. They can do something. They can find an idol, anything like that. We didn't see any idol play in the first episode. So there could be something out there waiting for someone that could put them in a better position. But right now, I don't see Blue going back to tribal council. I think they have enough of a group that can work together. And here's the thing about it is anybody can lose a challenge.
Yeah.
Even the way that challenge was lost, it just was like you just wasn't listening. Because when you're trying to pull a string one way and somebody trying to pull it the other way, and if you watch that ball, at some point it has to go into the cylinder a little bit and be pulled through. So Nicole just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. Wrong tribe. I know what that feels like.
But absolutely. You know what? I was kind of saying the same thing or something similar on Survivor Social last week, is that like it's kind of a tough spot to be in because it's not like anybody, well, I don't think anybody is at home like practicing getting a ball through a maze, right? People probably practice puzzles, they probably like work on their athleticism, work on their endurance, things like that. But being in the middle as like a caller to get a ball through some sort of like snake, I don't know, pattern, that's really, really hard. So
Look.
I definitely felt for Nicole in that situation. I don't think I personally would have been great at that because again, like that's not really like a skill set that I'm over here working on. So I don't know, maybe I'll start if I want to go on Survivor, but
Look, I'm sliding to the side. They'd be like, who want to call? My throat hurt, but I'm gonna perform in a challenge. I'm gonna put myself somewhere where I can say, hey, this is what I did for the team. And again, you just never know. You just never know what they're looking at or what they're thinking about. But I got to say, Jake came up as the voice that was leading the tribe.
yeah.
And basically what he said went. And then sometimes you just don't click with people that quick. You know, even though we're on the island, we just get there and we're talking with each other. Sometimes it takes a minute. Sometimes it might take a couple of days for you to find some common ground. And everybody just not going to get along. And I think we're just in a situation where if Nicole had a couple more days, I think she would have bonded better. But also everybody trying to fight, so they fight for survival. That's why they call it Survivor. They're trying to make sure they get to the next day. And you don't want to be a part of that first boat. So any name that's not your name, guess what?
Great.
I did send her a message.
Absolutely.
I sent her a message. I was like, hey, you know, it was a great adventure no matter how long it lasted, you know, but it's going to take a little time to get over that. So I'll see you somewhere in these streets.
Absolutely. Hey, that was so nice of you to reach out. And yeah, it's tough because I mean, we've talked about it for sure on the podcast before, but like that first vote, it really does feel like any little thing that you did wrong, that can be enough to vote you out because people just don't know you well enough yet. So that's what's really a bummer about those even like the first couple vote outs, not even just the first one, because you know, even for the second vote tonight, it's only been for them, 5 or 6 days by the time they go to their second tribal, if that. So it's definitely really tough. And I definitely felt for Nicole. I definitely felt like Nicole had more game in her. If she would have been able to stick around a little bit longer, I could tell, you know, she had some survivor instinct in her. So
look, they've been on the island long enough to know who their family history is, how many kids they got, whatever their birthdays are, special occasions. Because all we have to do is sit around and talk to each other. That's all we got to do is time. And we're doing media clips and stuff like that they need. But for the most part, we're just getting to know each other. So right now, by the time we see this episode tonight, we should see some bonding because people either had kids, they're married, they're single, they live in the same part of the world. You're going to see bonding on stuff like that. But nobody wants to be that tribe that loses. So we're going to see the start tonight. We'll see if Riz God can perform in an actual challenge with his actual tribe mates. We'll see Matt and MC to me for 2 alternates. They're stealing the show. You know,
absolutely. Yeah, wait, Matt was an alternate, or was it Jason?
No, I'm sorry. Matt was not an alternate. My apologies.
Jason, right?
Jason was an alternate, which
Yeah.
Jason is just I think Jason is just a funny guy. I think he's just funny. I
Funny
think if
guy.
you find him funny, you're gonna enjoy his, because here's the crazy thing about it is that little part you see on TV, some people can be, their personality can be different when you have to be around them all day, every day. And then you take away eating and you take away sleeping a good night's sleep. Your true anger personality, we'll call them hangry, will come out and people be like, I don't really know if I want to be bothered with you. Or you're not a morning person. And it's like, oh man, there ain't no coffee. There ain't no Starbucks. So this is that gelling time to say, okay, we're here playing and I got to get through my little thing that doesn't rub somebody the wrong way. So I think we're going to see in the next episode where people are either being rubbed the wrong way because they're just, you in the jungle and it's 5 days and you're trying to play this game. And Coconut, I ain't gonna lie to you, but after about 10 days, I'm done with that.
Oh, I would totally get sick of coconut, I'm sure. I mean, anything that you're having for that long of a time, it doesn't matter how good it is to begin with. Not that coconut is that great to begin with, but I mean, I get sick of anything out there, I feel like. But yeah, you know, I feel like it would be hard. It definitely would be hard living with people 24/7. And, you know, for some people that really aren't clicking, they probably run out of stuff to talk about those first few days, which, you know, adds to the irritability, I guess we could say. So we'll see how that all pans out. That's always kind of fun, makes for some good moments, of course, but you know, for the players themselves, it might not be so enjoyable. So
I think we're gonna see some of the other players, like editing always does. We're gonna see some of the other players' personalities, which is good because to me, the first 4 episodes or 5 episodes, we want to bond with a player. We want to bond with a player so we can say, I'm rooting for that player. Right now, we're just looking at them like, okay, you're going from being on the list of people playing Survivor to let me see how you perform. And now we're like, oh, you know what? MC, physical threat right now. I think she might be a challenge beast. We got Matt. Oh, Matt, if MC and Matt get together and they can work it out and stick together, I think that's going to be a good duo. So we're as viewers and fans of the show bonding and forming our little tribes of who we want to see perform and do what and root for them. So that's going to be pretty interesting. Now tonight will be the next night. And, you know, we room for a couple people to fail. I ain't gonna lie to you. A couple of y'all, I want to see y'all, you know, get out of here. But we're going to see who actually steps up tonight and starts to form that first group that's going to be getting into the merge and looking on how to play the game. I don't know which one of the Sophies gonna get booted out, but one of them gonna have to go. There's too many Sophies in there. They're gonna mess up the name.
Sophies, yeah, definitely. Hey, we might see the Sophies going at each other for that reason. Like if there's any sort of a tribe swap, or if they both make it to the merge, they might be like, there's only room for one Sophie on this island, and you're not her. So
I want to see. It's gonna be interesting because they all got different playing styles. I want to see how Nate plays with his tribe and readjusts to his tribe.
Yes. You know, I actually really loved Nate. I wasn't sure if he was going to be, you know, kind of a quiet background character for a couple of the episodes, but he came out and did a really nice job connecting with Savannah specifically. And it kind of seems like he's going to be that last person in their little group because of Jawan's moment. I don't know if that's going to matter long term or if that really did break his opportunity to get with that group. What do you think of that?
You know what's funny was the way they edited that. It was like, okay, he got frustrated with making fire, but they never tell you how long you're there making fire. Yeah. So if you really don't know how to shave off the shavings and spark the knife, we had an episode. And I looked at Deshaun and I just saw him. I just saw his first day, and I'm looking at him. And they was like, "Hey, I'm gonna show you how to make fire," and I was like, how you gonna show somebody who's gonna make fire when you got the little emblems, like the embers right there in fire? All you gotta do is blow on them. So I'm looking at them like, how y'all put this on TV? But again, he could have been there for an hour focusing on making that fire because everybody wants to try to make fire. And that's one big thing. If I can make fire, I can show that I'm worthy of the try. But here's the thing. Then you cut to him and saying, well, if he can't handle making fire, I don't know if we can trust him. He was there for an hour and a half. He tired. And then that particular first day, you go from Ponderosa getting ready to play the game. We get up at 3:30 in the morning. So depending on when you got up and what you had to do and get ready to play, you've been up all morning. So by the time you get to that first nightfall, which we didn't have no fire, they're gonna blame it on me, but it wasn't my fault. You're tired, you're kind of irritable because yeah, you're playing Survivor, but there is no meal that night. You're not eating that night. You look, so it don't make no difference. You can get some water from the well, but that's not gonna be tap water with filter in it. So whatever that's gonna be is gonna be what it is. So I'm gonna give him a pass and say that she was just looking for something to try to get somebody to cling to. And I'm gonna say he's gonna be in good because one, he likes what Nate does as a job. So he and him will always have something to talk about.
That's so true. Yeah, I mean, and hey, that sometimes is, I mean, you know better than I do, but like sometimes that's all you need. Like you just need like one thing that you have in common with somebody, and like, you know, like because you run out of stuff to talk about out there, like you were saying. So like if you have that one thing that bonds you and you can kind of keep a conversation going and really continue that bond with somebody, that could be huge out there. As even something as small as like liking the same movies, right? Like if you can talk about it for hours, hey, you got something that
For
other
26 days, I will like whatever movie you like, Tori. Whatever movie it is.
Absolutely.
Sleepless in Seattle and The Matrix. Oh, hey, look, I'm talking about it all. And that's the thing about it is you only have to do it for 26 days.
Yeah.
And if you can do it for
in the grand scheme of things. Like I could talk about anything. I will find a way to talk about it. I'm with you, Abe. We would be
Shoot, I'm
so
talking
able
about
to work together out there. For me, it'd be
popcorn
Harry Potter.
spinach.
Like Harry Potter would be like probably the one like movie that I bring up the most because all I watch on TV is Survivor. So like that's something that obviously if there's other super fans out there, which there would be, I'd be able to talk to them about that. But what would be like your thing that would bond you to something?
I'm talking about Dumbledore. I'm talking about all the players that have been in the, I'm looking from teenagers to kids. We're talking about J.K. Rowling and everything. We're talking about England. We're talking about where the store is at in the States. I'm going with you, whatever you need to talk about.
Perfect.
The thing about it is you have to be amiable enough to just say, whatever we talking about, I don't care. I can go ahead. Because Nate was concerned that his conversation wouldn't translate. Matt's concerned about him not understanding how they're playing video games. You know, here's the thing about it is you play video games when you was a kid. You ain't got to understand their video game. You just got to understand the concept. Well, hey, what strategy are you utilizing in that game? Can we talk about that? I'll be sitting back like, okay, I don't know what they're doing. I was looking at Big Brother this season, and Will was on there talking about he wished he had a fast forward button. Because when they was talking, he was like, I wish I could fast forward through this conversation. I'll sit there and listen. We'll be talking about it, whatever.
Absolutely. Yep. I'm with you. I will find a way to talk about whatever you need me to talk about because yes, where there's a will, there's a way. So, you know, I hope that Matt can really find a way in with his tribe because I'm rooting for Matt. One, because I drafted him on my fantasy team.
Yeah,
but also like I'm always rooting for the people that are a little bit older. I mean, not that these people are so old that they can't hang in Survivor, but like let's go. Like justice for the older people out here. They've got the life experience. He's got the survival skills. All he's got to do is bond a little bit more with some of the younger people on his tribe. And I think he can do it.
I think because Gabler came in, he played, he win. I think it's just a matter of, like I played at 51 and Matt's a 1 year older than me. It wasn't a matter of not bonding with them. It was a matter of the younger ones were physically intimidated, Xander, of me in the challenge. But here's the thing, I went to have a good time. So when I did the challenge, I said, well, no matter what happens, I'm gonna go all out and have a good time. That doesn't mean I wasn't exhausted. That doesn't mean I wasn't tired because that thing was hard. But Xander took it as, wait a minute, I want them to depend on me physically. And that was his reason for voting. Then the women bond together. Tiffany and them said, hey, we bonding together. We just need y'all to vote with us. What the men in our tribe didn't see was the old school Survivor rules. If the women start voting out the men, guess what? They get voted out. So then you got votes. He was next. And then Xander would have got voted out if JD didn't have that bad basketball move. So it's just that you got to remember you playing Survivor and everybody's playing it their way. So I'm with Jake and Alex in the bromance. If I could have got a bromance, oh man, we'd have been on. I'd have took a bromance with Alex, with Xander. Xander, my guy, any day. And I'd have been like, okay, at least I know I can get to the merge. Because if you go back to the merge feast of season 41, Danny tells Tiffany, I'm looking out for you because you voted out all the men on your tribe. So, I mean, it's old school Survivor wrapped in a new school thing here. But I also want to see what and how they're going to introduce the idols this season. because I thought last season was great. You either had to get somebody to help you, or you were just like Star. She did the best she could. That just not wasn't what her forte was, but you gave it to Eva. Eva. Sorry.
Yeah,
Eva.
yeah, yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
not
you know,
giving
I
nothing
didn't mind how they did the idols last season. I loved the intro, and I said this on Survivor Social too, but I'll say it again. I loved that this intro or premiere episode, there we go, I couldn't think of the word. I was glad to see that this premiere episode wasn't super idol or advantage heavy. Like, I really liked the focus on letting us get to know the characters. And that's been one of my kind of like, I don't want to call them complaints because I always love Survivor, but sure, we'll call them complaints.
Don't
That's
complain.
been one of my complaints about some of the new era seasons. What comes to mind with that is like season 44, episode 1, we had like the bird cage, and everyone's like, what's with this bird cage? And that's all anybody was talking about. Yes, we were still getting to know some of the players, but I want that to be like the sole purpose of the premiere episode. And then let's introduce idols later on. And I am interested in seeing like how they get to the idols. Like, is there going to be, are there going to be any new advantages, things like that? Now, one thing I was also saying on Survivor Social was that I know like one of the things that fans voted on for season 50 was whether they wanted like a lot of advantages, like some advantages, but not like a ton, or like really no advantages. And I'm like a no advantage person. Like, I don't love advantages. I like idols. And I don't mind the shot in the dark. But in terms of like all these different advantages, I think we could get rid of some. I don't know. What do you think about that?
We thought the shot in the dark was trash when we started playing because we had no idea what it really could do. And I've only seen it successfully played twice. So I don't mind it as an option, and also just to put something in the back of somebody's head. But I do, you know, if you got 2 idols, I'm good. All season for both tribes too, I'm good. Because here's the thing. You have the ability to win immunity through the challenge, individual immunity and an idol. We don't need a heavily laden game with idols in it. So I'm good with if you just had 2, because I want to see you play. And then, like you said, the first couple of episodes, I want to get to know you. I want to see who I want to root for. I may pick somebody in the pre-draft, but I'm only picking you because I'm reading information about you. Now I get to see you play as like, no, this is really who I'm rooting for, because I think you will be a better player than you were on paper. And then we've actually saw some people that were on paper that look great turn out to be bad players or bad decision players. So it's just this time right here in these first 1, 2, 3 episodes, this is where we learn everybody's name, learn everybody's tribe. And now we're like, okay, now I'm invested. Now I'm invested in Survivor. Let's get this season rolling. Let's see what move they make next. And then we get the cliffhangers on the pre-show. And then we're like, okay, this is great. What's going to happen next? So I'm loving this time because you're right. We get to know the players. I'm not rooting for Riz. I don't like him. I don't like him as a player right now.
Totally fair. Everybody has their favorites and the people they're not rooting for. But yeah, I mean, the reason for bringing up 50 is because like I wonder if they're gonna have like fewer advantages this season to get us like prepared to see fewer advantages in 50, just because like maybe that's what the fans voted for. That's what I voted for. So yeah, I don't know, but I do feel like ideally there should be a balance, like a good balance of like, let's get to know the people, let's watch them play, let's watch them strategize, and then sure, like add a few idols and advantages that they can actually use strategically, and then that can be entertaining.
It was a lot of emotion on episode 1.
Yeah, there was.
And I was like, y'all just came from Ponderosa. What are we doing? I mean, you just slept in the tents. So it wasn't like you were starving, he was in the tent, but there's a lot of emotion. So that's going to be interesting this season to see how it plays into the game. Because sometimes, and don't get me wrong now, everybody's going to be emotional on that island.
Yeah,
a moment of silence for season 41. We all going to be emotional on that island. And at some point, we saw it last season with Star, and then we it's going to happen, which is crazy. You're like, no, I'm not gonna be emotional, but you somewhere in there, you're gonna get it. And we see that play out, but we didn't see it play out like in episode 1. We've seen a couple of people have some breaks in episode 1, but it was a lot of emotional people. So it kind of make me look, and I'm gonna say 51 time this episode, because now it's like, who did y'all pick off of 49 so far that could even be on 50 that couldn't have been picked from one of the previous seasons, but I'm gonna let that go.
Yeah, I feel like that can be a whole other podcast episode, is like going through like who could have been on 50 and like why they picked certain players. Like once we find out who from 49 is on, I feel like we can make a whole episode out of that. But, everybody, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to hear from one of our ads, and then when we come back, we'll finish up talking about the last episode, and we will make some predictions for this next one.
Tonight?
Hey, you. Yeah, I'm talking to you. No, not them. I'm talking straight to you. Are you interested in even more Survivor content? Make sure to check out Survivor Now's Patreon page. We've got some incredible stuff going on over there, like an exclusive interview with the Dragon Slayer, Coach. Can you believe it? As well as many seasons that we revisit, so much bonus content, and there's 2 tiers to choose from. Either be a faithful member for $3 a month, or be a legend for $5 a month. There's also a 1-week free trial for the Legend tier if you're interested. So what are you waiting for? Go to the link in the description below and join our Patreon today. I better see you there. All right, let's go back to the show.
Hey, this is my first time seeing the Patreon commercial.
Yeah, it's pretty nice, right? So there's some info about our Patreon, everyone. If you're interested, go check it out. You're very encouraged to do so. But, okay, so fast forward through the immunity challenge. We get yellow crushing it last week. And, red comes in second, and blue, which I thought was going to be the strongest tribe going in, ends up going to tribal council. Now, Nicole did a few things back at the beach and then even at tribal council. There was a lot of talk about how, Nicole and Annie actually should have played both their shots in the dark, because why not? And we didn't see a single shot in the dark played. So talk me through that, Abe. Like, what did you think about all that? Could Nicole have done something differently? What do you think?
Nicole, they edited Nicole like she was going to be a financial forensic expert. And I was like, yeah, Nicole going home. Anytime they give you that pump up, it's be like, oh, it's not looking good. The shot in the dark for us was like, most players now know about it. So if you're coming on Survivor now, you know about the shot in the dark. But you also want to believe in the people that you just met. Yeah. That at least 2 of them are not lying to you. And she believed Alex saying, hey, we're good. She knew Jake was coming for her. So she should have said, hey, one person coming for me, and looking at them, and just sometimes you just got to sit back and watch people, and saw the bromance, be like, well, that's 2 votes. And then you got to remember, nobody wants to be that first person to go home. Everybody's trying to figure out, how can I avoid being that? So Jake and Alex, I definitely would have looked and said, you know what? This probably not going to go my way, because all you need is 4 votes. And I'm going to play my shot in the dark just because I got that feeling from them. But she said it opposite. She said, hey, I got a feeling like, hey, I could trust the people I spoke with. And Sophie let her down. Who else is there? Jay. What's Jay's name? Start with a J. Jeremiah. Jeremiah will be, hey, Jeremiah said, as long as it ain't my name, I ain't going. So you got Jeremiah saying, hey, I'm just going to align with everybody. I'm really not here to vote. And then he was in tribal council saying, we already picked our person. It was between 2 people, which to me was bad gameplay. You showed your hand.
I would 100% agree.
Why would you show your hand in tribal council like they're going to forget? Because people change on a drop of a dime at tribal council back at the tribe. So now it was 2 people. So everybody can wonder who was the second person. So Jeremiah, you might be the next person voted out. They go back to tribal council because you put yourself in the hot seat. Right now, I don't think it's going to break up the bromance. I think they're good. So, but I don't think they're going to tribal council tonight. So,
we'll get to the predictions. I was going to ask you who you think, but hold that thought until we start going over predictions for next week. I'm sorry, tonight's episode. But yeah, it's interesting because the shot in the dark is tricky because, as you said, like, it can really build mistrust if you play it and you didn't need to play it. Like, if Annie would have played it, she obviously got 0 votes against. Well, she got Nicole's vote, but she didn't get voted out. Like, she wasn't unsafe that night. And so if she would have played her shot in the dark, the people that are right now working with her might have been like, why did you play that? Why don't you trust us? Right. And the same risk went for Nicole as well. But if I am Nicole or Annie, the second that I heard the thing about the 2 weakest players, I'm recognizing, hopefully I would have the self-awareness to recognize, like, I am one of the 2 weakest players that they're talking about. I'm playing this thing. And if I end up being safe tonight and don't get any votes, I'm going back to camp and saying, that's why I played the shot in the dark, is because I'm recognizing I'm one of the 2 that you're talking about. So I was at least like maybe in contention.
I didn't see what Nicole was a weak player. I just think that, you just kind of fall into one of those challenges where you're not the weak player when you're calling. You've already done the other part of that challenge. You already put yourself in position to play and to win. And she's calling.
Yeah.
Y'all need to pay attention. So she was just, and I saw some stuff online. I usually don't get online and worry about what people say about people, but I was like, she's a player. She's out there playing. Y'all remember, she didn't do the challenge. Her name was she went on the ropes.
Yeah.
And as much as she was trying to direct you, you should also be looking and saying, okay, well, don't go too fast. Hold on for a second, everybody. Let's just settle down, because you got other people watching, the folks that are on the other side of you that are playing. And sometimes you get caught up in watching them. And
yeah. I think, you froze for a second. I wanted to, there's a,
you just want to trust in people that you got a short amount of time to build trust with, and hope that you make it that next night to see if they're really trustworthy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's such an interesting thought, because I've been kind of saying the same thing. It's like I was saying earlier, like being the middle person is not really something that anyone is necessarily great at. Like, it's not really something that you can be like, oh, that person's weak because they couldn't do it. That person's strong because they could do it. Like, I feel like I'm not a person that thinks that way. I do think that understanding people's perceptions of her, like, she didn't finish the puzzle in the like reward or whatever supply challenge in the beginning. And I don't really think that that was Nicole's fault specifically either. But if I'm Nicole, I'm thinking, okay, I'm obviously perceived as one of the weaker players because I didn't pull out the ending in either of the challenges yet. But which is so unfortunate, because I so agree with you that Nicole did not seem really that weak. And I don't feel like it's fair to call somebody weak just because they couldn't necessarily finish up the caller position challenge.
And I'd like to also give a shout out to the mud they be creating for the challenge, because that mud is not indigenous to Fiji. So I don't know who's mixing that mud together, but that mud gets in your face, it gets in your eyes, it gets in your nose, and you're just trying to play. So sometimes you get the raw deal on how people perceive you playing. And then we only see a certain amount of it. We only see the edited versions. But I knew when they did that edit and said she was a criminal, I was like, oh, forensic. I was like, oh, they using the buzzwords now. Yeah. Let's go ahead and say bye. But every season, somebody got to be first. And it's like, who's going to be first? And I always give a shout out to Keith, man, when I got voted out. What's crazy? Who got voted out second in my season?
Voce, right? No. Who was second? I don't remember.
You don't remember who was second because it was the same time, but Sarah came second.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Wow. It's so crazy. Like, there's been so many seasons, and it's crazy how quickly you forget.
And it's crazy. I'm like, how did y'all get me first and second? I wasn't even on the puzzle, but anyway.
Hey, I feel like there should be a first out season where we have a bunch of first out players come back, because I want to see those people actually play. Now, it would be really unfortunate for the first person out of that season if they were to do that season, like what happened to Francesca. But I still want to see that season. So, I'm going to advocate for that. I'd like to see it back, Abe.
Me and Jelinksy had to go at it because he threw the
the hourglass.
And I own an hourglass, and I'm like, come on, man, the hourglass didn't do anything to you. So me and Jelinksy, we would have to talk again and get that. We had to get by that part, but I think they did it for Africa. Africa did a first boot season where they brought back players that got booted before the merge. It was a great season. Dino won that season. But it was a great season. I think that you get a chance to see players that just didn't get a chance to play. I mean, you don't know how we would have played, but CBS would have to come back and say, you know what? I think that's a good marketing thing. Let's try it out and give some players an opportunity to come back and play. You only got 10 players. No, 50 would give us How many is that? 10? Yeah, that's 10 players. They'll give you 10 players to choose from. So we're still stuck. You'd have to go back before 41 and pull some players from previous seasons back to 40 or something.
Which I'd
But
be so for. I would love to see that.
yeah,
Or even like you were saying, like whatever was it Survivor South Africa you said did
yeah, they did it.
like a pre-merge, like we can even like broaden it, make it like pre-merge players or something like that. I just feel like people get cast on Survivor for a reason. And so I feel like some of these players that were out early must be like really interesting people that have a good story.
They
And
let me back. I'm voting out everybody.
I don't know. And I'm sure I'm not alone on that. I think that would actually be a really good season. And yeah, hopefully they do something like that in the future.
I'm using my code name, Wrecking Ball. Who you
There you
call? I'm
go.
Wrecking Ball. I'm coming in there. If you ain't about this Wrecking Ball, I ain't. Hey, you don't even talk to me. We voting out everybody.
Or even like, I don't know, it'd be cool to have like the first like pull from like the pre-merge of the new era, or even take like the first out of the new era and make that fans versus favorites, like fans versus first out or something like that, and see what happens.
It's about 5 players. It's 6 players out.
Oh, no, you froze again. Abe froze up, y'all.
I'm back.
Oh, he's back.
It's about 6 players that I would love to play with that got voted out pre-merge. I think we would make a good try.
Awesome. Yeah, I want to know who those players are. I don't know if you can say it on air, but
I gotta look them up. I know their faces, but I'd be like, who is it now? But they got voted out pre-merge. I think we would have a blast out there playing.
oh, awesome. I definitely want to know who they are because I'm always interested in those kinds of things. But that's another thing that can totally be like, I want to make like a new podcast episode about like what new season we would want, who, you know, like if we're talking to you and like Bruce or something, like who would you want to play with? Like who would be on your tribe? That would be like a fun little like draft situation.
I like to give a shout out to No, I don't want to play with Bruce.
Oh, dang. Bruce, much love for you. Much love for you, Bruce.
Bruce would say the same thing about me, so but no, I'm not playing
Yeah,
with
he would. He would. He loves to trash talk. All in good fun. All in good fun.
Yeah.
But anyway, we get Nicole voted out, which is so unfortunate. I feel like, as I was saying earlier, Nicole had a lot more game left. And so it's always a bummer to see whoever the first boot is go first. But we are like 15 minutes out from this next episode. And so I'm curious, like in order to make a prediction on who's going home next, we have to make the prediction of who's going to tribal next. So let's do both those questions in one. Like, who do you think is going to tribal next, and who do you think the next boot is? And also, people that are here in the live, sound off in the comments. Like, who do you think? And we'll shout some of you out for your comments.
I think that I don't think it's the blue tribe. I think it's going to be the red tribe. I think it's going to be the red tribe, and I think we're going to see. I'm gonna go with Savannah.
Oh wow! Oh my gosh, our girl that supposedly is on 50. That'll be interesting.
And she's from the home state. She's from Hotlanta too. So I just think that her style, it's almost like Jim. Jim had one more move to make in her season. She would have been in the merge, which she would have been one player on my new tribe. I just think if she makes a move too early, I think she gets herself voted out. If they go to tribal council and she makes a move too early, you know, I'm not with they was like, hey, we feel the vibes. Man, vibe nothing. Okay. That vibe will get you vibed out of there. So they're working on vibes. So I'm gonna put the red tribe in tribal council tonight, and I'm gonna put her at risk. I'm gonna say she's at risk tonight.
All right. You heard it here first, y'all. Abe is saying Savannah is getting voted out tonight. Now, okay. Now, I went into this episode thinking blue is probably going to go back to tribal. However, I wonder if they are going to be able to pull it together because they do have some tribe strength. And I think all they really need to do is communicate better. Kind of reminds me of Oolong from all the way back in season 10. If y'all are super fans like me, you can remember that seemed like they had a lot of tribe strength and they just could not get it together. So it kind of reminds me of that. And it's all because of communication. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say that they can pull it together and they're not going to go back to tribal. I think I'm going to say, I don't want to say red just because Abe said red, but I might go ahead and say Red. And I'm going to say Jawan is in trouble tonight if Red goes to tribal. Who seems like a fun dude, but I do think that Nate is going to take his spot in like the majority. And, you know, it's like we were saying, people are grasping at straws in these beginning episodes to like see like, and I know you said like he could have been at it for hours on the fire, but I'm going to go with they're looking for a reason to vote somebody out, and they're going to go with Jawad because they feel like they can't trust his, like,
I think
I don't want to say personality. That's the wrong word, but they can't like trust his demeanor, I guess.
I think Sage is going to bond with Nate, Jawan, and then that's going to be the deciding vote. I think it's going to be one of those shifts where the people that bond together are going to be like, okay, we got to make a decision. And I think they're just going to make a decision out the two that's left, just like they did last episode. And I think we're just going to see it. But I think that Nate has enough in common. Hey, Amy. I think Nate has enough in common with Jawan that they can talk. And I think Sage, with her background and being out there, I think she's going to be all right. So that only leaves two more players. Who else is on there? Sage, Savannah. Yeah. So the two feel goods, and Riz. Riz is X Factor. It'll be funny if Riz get voted out the night, and we'd be like, I thought he was going to be on 50. I don't know how he's going to get there. So I want to see how he plays. I'm still kind of, in my feelings about the fact that he looked at that puzzle. So let's see how he plays the rest of these next two episodes. I'm gonna have a different opinion of him. But for right now, I'm still gonna feel some kind of way about that puzzle.
Ooh, yeah. It's hard because I'm like I can forgive, but I'm not gonna forget kind of person.
Yeah,
so I will not forget about that puzzle. And I can forgive it for now. I know he had to do what he had to do out there. And so credit to him for doing what he felt like he needed to. But yeah, I will not forget. So we're
somebody said if he could hug himself. What do you say? If I could hug myself? I was like,
I know. You're like, no.
No, I'm good.
That's so funny. So I know that this is looking way down the road, but I know everybody makes some both preseason winner picks, and then maybe they adjust their winner pick based on like what happened in the first episode or two. Do you have a winner pick right now?
I got two winner picks.
Okay.
I got MC and I have Jason, the two alternates.
Love. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm here for that. I like it. Especially, MC totally crushed it.
Here's the reason why. You get that far and you on the island. You're actually on the island with us as we all prepare at the same time. The only reason you don't play is because nobody gets in trouble like they did this time. So I think that they're going to be the ones that says, I want to use the best of my opportunity and I'm going to play this game and show them that you should have put me on the original Survivor selection versus having me as an alternate. So I'm looking forward to see how they play it. So those are my two winner picks. I think they're going to be 1 and 2.
I love that. That's another thing we were talking about on Survivor Social. Common theme here is for me to bring up stuff that I've already said, apparently. But I was like, do you think that the alternates like play harder and like are not like coming back with a vengeance, but sort of like along those same lines of like they're coming in and they've got like a fire in their eyes? And I definitely I was kind of thinking that too when I asked that question on social. So I'm kind of here for that, Abe. Like I kind of love.
Yeah, but think about it. You go through everything that we go through. You go through all the preparation we go through. You take all the shots we take. You fly on the same plane with us. You're at Ponderosa with us. And then everybody gets up that morning to start the episode and you get left behind. So no. That was big.
We've got some people that are also with you on your winner pick. So MC seems pretty popular specifically. I know you said MC and Jason, but as you said, I think MC might end up being like a challenge beast as well. So like not only is she like, I don't know, super laser focused on this goal of like making it as far as she can in Survivor, like maybe more so than everybody else, but also if she makes it to the merge, like everybody else seems like they're in trouble because she's like a tough cookie. So totally.
So I hope she teams up with a Jake or somebody like that and they work together, or at least a good group of 2 or 3 and work together to navigate through. She doesn't have to win every challenge. Mm-hmm. And really I would rather win the last challenge and not win another challenge
Yeah.
in Survivor, because that determines if you get to sit in those chairs.
Oh,
But I think she's going to work with some people. I think it's going to be pretty interesting to see how she plays. Now, who is your winner pick?
Ooh, who is my winner pick? So I went into the season choosing this person, and I'm going to stick with it because I think that she had a really good first episode. And so I'm going to ride with Sophie B from the Blue Tribe. I think that she
Sophie S.
positioned herself really well, and is kind of like in the middle and can kind of like go either way. Like if they decide they want to, part of the tribe decides that they want to split up the bromance, she can go that way. She's also in with the bromance. She's made good connections with really everybody, and I can see her continuing to do that kind of quietly too at the same time. Like she wasn't like super loud about like talking to everybody, it didn't seem like. So I think it's going to take people a while to suss her out and realize that she's playing a really good social game. So I think that she's definitely got that going for her. And she seems like she can hold her own in challenges. Like she's not by any means like a liability. I think she can do really well individually. Like she'll be able to hang. I don't know that she'll be like the challenge beast that I foresee MC potentially being. But again, I think she'll be able to hold her own. So I'm really loving Sophie B, and that's my winner pick.
Wait a minute. Is she on your winner pick preseason?
Yes, that was, I definitely, I don't know if I actually said it on the podcast, so I don't think that it's on record here as my winner pick, but in like a little group text that I have on the side, I mentioned that she's my winner pick going into the season. So I'm going to ride with Sophie as long as I can.
Okay, now we're going to see it tonight then. We'll see you in the after show.
I'm excited. So before we go, we only have a few minutes. Any other major predictions? Anything else you want to throw in there, Abe?
Here's the thing. This is going on. This is that real Survivor talk. I just want to see a good season. I want to see players enjoy the moment and just play the game. Whatever's thrown at you, just play it and enjoy the moment. And I want to see those moments. I hope we get them since it's an hour and a half, so that we get those moments where we see people just saying, you know what, I made it. I made it on Survivor. I'm having a blast and I'm just enjoying it. The one thing that drew me to Jam Jam was in the opening credits of that season was his joy about being there. So I want to see players have that joy and take a moment and enjoy themselves. And let's just have a good season.
Absolutely. Hey, I love that. That like sums everything up. I'm just looking forward to Survivor every single week. And I love that you brought up Jam Jam because like the vibes that we get from Jam Jam, like more of that, please. Like just like the absolute just thrill of playing the game of Survivor and being there. And I just hope it's a really good season. So
hey, short story. So the funny thing is I talked to Jam Jam's mom. She's funny as all get out. So I see where he gets the personality from.
That's awesome. Oh my gosh. I love seeing like where people get things from. So I think, do we have a special guest today that just joined us?
We got a special guest?
I think we've got a special guest. We have a few minutes before the episode. We have a buddy here. Bruce, what is up?
What's up? Hey, listen, I'm at the Bryce Win event. If you do not get yourself to a Bryce Win event, I'm telling you, you are missing out. Let me show you what's up.
Woo!
Why can't I have one show by myself where Bruce doesn't show up?
Make it happen, ladies and gentlemen. I got to go back. I got to say hi to people. I got to say hi to the band. Listen, have a great night tonight. Let's go. Survivor 49. Make it happen. Hey, Abraham. Have a good night, everybody. I wish I could hear you, but I can't.
My God, Bruce.
Oh my gosh, we love a guest appearance. I was definitely that person last week. I was at a premiere party in Chicago, and it was so fun. I actually forgot to even mention that on here. But that's okay. Well, I'll share some stories maybe next week or at the after show about like how that went and who I met and stuff like that. But everybody, check us out on really all week. We've got stuff going on. We have so many good shows. We've
Wednesday,
got
Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Let's see. Oh, I just took it down. All right, Wednesday, we've obviously got the after show coming up right after this episode. So come check us out. Come back on the live. Let us know what surprised you, everything like that. We've got stuff Thursday, Friday, and Saturday as well. So come check us out and sound off in the comments if you have thoughts and everything. We love to interact with the fans and, see what's up with everybody. So that is it for our pre-show. I'm so excited for this episode. Abe, thank you so much. Like, it was so much fun talking to you.
They let me come on the show every now and then. They let me get back on here.
And I love it. You're invited back anytime.
I'll be back. Hey, look, I'll be back on the after show too.
Yeah, we're going to talk later for sure. And we'll see who's right on everything. So I cannot wait. But to everybody else, thank you so much for joining us. Enjoy the episode, and we'll see you on the after show. Bye, everybody.